Yesterday, one of the guys that came to the shiur arrived a few minutes early, and he asked me, Rabbi, is there any way that there is a leniency to gamble? Because he's heard me say it in many shiurim that it's 100% forbidden to gamble. There's no, this is one opinion, this is that opinion. There's one opinion, not allowed to gamble. And I can give you 11 different reasons, 12 different reasons off the top of my head if you'd like, such as the Chachamim say in the Gemara that for one reason is that anyone that gambles cannot be used as a witness because they're not a trustworthy person, because the Gemara Masechet Moed Katan says a person that gambles is infatuated with money, and if he's infatuated with money, we can never use him as a witness because somebody may be able to buy him off. So you cannot be a witness. Similar to how a Mechalel Shabbat is treated. If somebody Mechalel Shabbat, they cannot be used as a witness. So if you want to have a Jewish ceremony, like for example, you want to have a wedding, you have to get two witnesses for that wedding. If one of the witnesses is a Mechalel Shabbat, that wedding, that chuppah is not valid. Those two people are not married. That's how significant it is when the Torah says you're not a valid witness. So when somebody gambles, it's the same thing. Another thing Chazal says is that when somebody gambles, even though there are rules to the game, and both of you agree to the rules, you agree that if he has X and you have Y, he wins. But if it's the opposite, you win. You agree that if you have aces and he has kings, you win. But if he has aces and you have kings, he wins. You agree that if you have 4 of a kind and he has 3 of a kind, you win. You agree to these rules. And if all the money that goes into the pot stays in the pot, and so on and so forth. You agree. The reality is that if you win, you're going to take his money. And the Torah says you are a thief. Wait a minute, how am I a thief? How could I be? We agree to the rules. He said yes, I said yes to the rules. So why would I be a thief? I won, fair and square. Torah says you're a thief because even though he agreed to the rules, he only agreed to the rules because he believed he was going to win. No one agrees to those rules assuming they're going to lose. Everybody goes into the casino thinking they're going to win. No one goes into the casino saying, I can't wait to lose all my money. No one says that. Not in their mind, not even if they're drunk. No one says such a thing. Everybody goes into the casino and says, tonight I'm going to take down this house. That's everybody's mindset. How do I know? I used to go to the casino. And my big sins that I did in the past, before I did tshuva, I didn't know that this is stealing. So I went to the casino. And especially when I saw religious people there, I thought, oh, this is mitzvah even. But Rabotai Yekarim, going to a casino and winning is 100% stealing. Why? Because the other party only agreed to the rules because he assumed he's going to win. Which means that once he lost, he doesn't really want to give you the money. So the fact that you're taking it from him because there are rules to the game is insignificant to him. He still doesn't want to give it to him. It doesn't make him any more inclined to give you the money because there are rules. He's giving it to you against his will. And what is it called when you take something from somebody against their will? No, who wants to volunteer? Stealing. You don't even have to be a big Talmid Chacham. Not that you're not. You're all Talmid Chachamim. But you all know when you take something against somebody's will, a 5-year-old knows that's stealing. Third reason. Gemara says that if it was allowed to steal, the entire world will turn into Sodom and Gomorrah. And the reason why is because places of gambling are called Moshav Letzim, a place of clowns, a place of jokesters, not Talmidei Chachamim, not holy people. Fourth reason, casinos are swamped with znut, with immodesty, with prostitution, with drugs, with all the filth in the world is in these casinos. Even though some of the people playing in a casino may be worth $1 billion, they're just as much as a degenerate as the guy that has $5. They're all degenerates. and going to a place where there's all this disgusting stuff, this immodesty, this prostitution, this drugs, and all of that other stuff, even if you're not involved in it, you're not allowed to go. You're not allowed to associate yourself with such things. And there are many, many other reasons. We want to elaborate further. I guess you get the point. The point is that there is no second opinion. So the guy that came to the shiur, the student that came to the shiur, says, well, I don't understand. There's a rabbi that's telling me, I had a whole debate with him, he says, that it's not allowed because I heard it from you that it's not allowed. And you gave the sources and the Gemarot and the Shulchan Aruch and so on and so forth. But he's saying it's allowed. I said, well, I don't know. He has to learn again. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not responsible for what other people say. All I can tell you is, ask him to provide you a source. He says, allowed. I'm showing you it's not allowed. I provided you 11, 12 sources that it's not allowed. He says it's allowed. Tell him to give you one source. Not 12. One source that says it's allowed. One. If he has one, for every one I'll give you 3. But I'll show, give me one. You know why I said one? Because there is no one. There is no one. There's no one source. No one's going to say it's allowed to gamble. And you know what was the best part? This gambler calls himself a rabbi, was asked this question. I didn't know he was asking him the question while we were talking. He was texting him, please provide me a source that you're allowed to gamble. To that extent. I don't know the exact words, but he asked him for a source. So this so-called rabbi sends him a voice note, and he plays it, thinking he's providing him a source. And this rabbi starts cursing up a storm. Effing this and effing that. The guy was so embarrassed. We're in a shul. It was right before some of you guys came. He was cursing such a filthy man. The guy was so embarrassed, he stopped it. I said, who's that, truck driver? He goes, no, that's the rabbi. I said, if that's the rabbi, you're not allowed to learn tic-tac-toe from him. Forget Torah. Why? Because the Gemara says it, and I'll give you a source for that. Gemara Moed Katan says, if your rabbi has behavior like an angel, learn Torah from him. Meaning angel. What angel? Angel meaning he serves Hashem. He's there to serve Hashem. No matter the pain, no matter the suffering, no matter the agony, no matter the difficulty. He's there to serve Hashem. He's there to tell you the truth. He's there to do the truth. If he's like an angel, you go learn Torah from him. If he's not like an angel, not only you shouldn't learn Torah from him, the Gemara says you're not allowed to learn Torah from him. It's a sin, like eating pork. Why? His Torah is like Doeg Adomi. Doeg Adomi was the head of the Sanhedrin. But he had horrible midot. He was a jealous, evil person. And he ended up losing his Olam Haba. And he's in Gehenom till this day and he'll never leave. Even though he knew a lot of Torah. Why? Because if the Torah that you're learning does not affect your character traits, then you're not learning Torah, you're learning philosophy. You're learning something else. You've desecrated Hashem's name instead of honor it. So this so-called rabbi cursed up a storm, and I said, well, did he at least provide a source? No source. Why? Because there's no source. But this, even though this was a Chilul Hashem on his end, it was actually a Kiddush Hashem too. Why? It proved the Torah that we're teaching, Torah that we're telling you. Anytime somebody tells you anything that's contrary to what we're teaching you, simply say, no problem. I believe you, but can I have some proof? I believe what you're saying, but I want to prove it to my rabbi. I want to prove him wrong. Can you give me a source for what you're saying? Can you show me this in a book? You want to show me this in a book? Now they're going to tell you something that happened after the shiur that you didn't see. It's very interesting. Someone said, I asked the rabbi. So another rabbi, actually I forgot to say this part of the story. I forgot to say a part of the story that was the best part, actually. I said, you know why this rabbi is telling you it's allowed to gamble and he's so angry? And he's cursing up a storm like a truck driver? Rabbi talks like that? I mean, truck drivers talk like that. Gangsters talk like that. Street thugs talk like that. Football players talk like that. Rabbis don't talk like that. It's a sin. Cursing? Chachamim say in the Gemara, someone that says nivul peh. Nivul peh is curse words. F word, S word, all these disgusting words. Someone that curses, even if it was decreed in heaven for him to get 70 years of blessing, he immediately loses it, and he can get up to 70 years of curses. That's how horrible it is to curse in a name. Because why? This mouth is supposed to be a mouth used for Torah, not for cursing. So anyway, I told you know why he's cursing, why he's so angry? And he said, why? I said, because he's a gambler. He's a rabbi gambler. And the guy looked at me like I was a prophet. He's like, how'd you know? I said, because only a Rasha defends something that's a Rasha. Only a Rasha. Only someone that's a gambler defends gambling. So, anyway, after the shiur, someone else came and said, listen, you said something at some point. I asked this so-called rabbi, and he said, no, listen, yeah, I know he says what he says, but it's not like that anymore. What do you mean it's not like that anymore? He says, well, listen, you know, the generation that we have today has changed. We're a weak generation, a generation that people walk around half naked, a generation of people don't know much Torah, a generation without Moshe Rabbeinu. We're a weak generation, so if it says in the Torah that a Mechalel Shabbat cannot be counted on a minyan, even though it says that, it's not really relevant anymore. If it says in the Torah and the Shulchan Aruch that wasting seed is the biggest sin, it's not relevant anymore. Because it's a weak generation. Pretty much, what are you doing? If you're saying that wasting seed is the biggest sin still now, that pretty much means almost every single Jewish male is a sinner in the eyes of Hashem, that if he doesn't do tshuva, he's losing Olam Haba. That's what it means. So what are you going to say? Everybody's going to lose Olam Haba? Who's going to go to heaven? You only? Who's going to go to heaven? I'm adding a few words, but in so many words, theatrics aside, that's what he said. So this rabbi said that the laws are real, but they're not relevant to this generation anymore. Now, I'm going to give you a source to show you it is relevant. In fact, I'm going to give you two. One from this week's parasha. As I always tell you, the answers are always in this week's parasha. Whatever week it is, it's in this week's parasha. And two, it's in your siddur. Doesn't matter what siddur you have. Ashkenazi, Sephardi, Chabad, any siddur. All siddurim have it.